All right, Ian, over here. Talk to me.
What
No, try talking.
to you?
Yeah.
My name is Iain Bryson. It's July 11th, 2023, and I'm making a video to follow up on the one that I released several months ago regarding the abduction and abuse of my daughter. That video was my first attempt at making a video, and I've had my friends have told me that I was a little bit, I was reading and I was uncomfortable, and the story that I'm telling is very intense and close to home for me. So I'm trying to learn how to make better videos, and just I want you, the audience, to get to know me, and hopefully that will lead to trust and reading and understanding what I'm talking about in my book. So if you haven't listened to my first video, in a nutshell, I married a Polish woman in 2005, and immediately I knew that there were issues with her and with her family. I suspected that she had been abused, but I didn't know, and we just continued living life. We had a daughter, and it wasn't until our daughter was 3 that it became clear to me that her family is not a good family, and she ended up telling me that her family is a cult and that she was taking her daughter back to the cult, and I didn't believe her. I thought she was crazy. I tried to convince her to get help, and then it happened. She told me she was taking our daughter to the library. I gave our daughter a hug, and I never saw her again. About 10 minutes after they left, I realized that they were gone, and all of the things that my wife had been telling me flooded back in. And at that point, I sprinted to the police department, and they wouldn't help me. The U.S. Embassy wouldn't help me. I was talking about things like severe child abuse and Stockholm Syndrome, which my wife told me she has. And I understand that these things are not part of the public discourse. They're not common in our everyday lives for the most part, until they are. And in my case, my daughter was gone, and I was freaking out and trying to get anyone and everyone to listen to me and to hear my story. So for 3 months, I tried to do that, and I was loud and obnoxious, and I alienated people, and people were confused, and so I found myself up against the wall with nobody helping. And I decided I had to go and force people to listen to me and to help me. So I didn't have resources. I didn't have money. I didn't speak Polish. I didn't have support. And I decided the best way to get help would be to put myself in the middle of it and to get arrested, which would force the authorities to give me a lawyer and an interpreter. Instead, they didn't listen to me. It was assumed from the get-go that I was wrong, or crazy, or both. And I ended up spending 50 months locked up in Poland from April 2011 until June 2015. When I was released, I continued on with my fight for my daughter, not knowing exactly what I was doing or how I was going to fight exactly, but just knowing that that was and is the only thing that I need to focus on. So I worked at my dad's farm for a few years, and just spent my time in prayer and in research and writing. And then I met my current wife, Emily, in 2018. And she heard my story and wanted to also dedicate her life to helping my daughter and my first wife, to helping people who are seriously abused and don't have a voice in this world. So right now we are trying. We're working on finishing the book, and it's a extensive book. I believe it's going to dispel any doubts or unbelief in the story. I believe it's going to explain things clearly. And I hope that you take the time to read it, and I open up the dialogue to you, and would like to hear your questions and comments. And I look forward to this book being released. We're hoping that it can be this fall, but if I have to say that what I can say for sure is that it will be this year. I can't say that it will be this fall for sure, but it will be out this year and sooner than that if possible.